Exactly 1 year ago, I've posted my very first video on this channel. Hello everybody! And in a way of thanking you guys, I decided to do a good old Q&A.
So Mona, please. Watch me die in like next 5 seconds. No, sobie żartujesz chyba.
Serio? Nie, no.
I'll give you a little bush so that you don't feel lonely. You're welcome. His torso is shaped of a burrito. No!
Oh my god.
One more!
Thank you for being here, supporting me on this journey, and you guys are truly such an amazing community. I couldn't have asked for a better one. I organized it through my Discord server, so if you're not a part of it, definitely recommend checking it out. Whenever I do these types of interactive videos with you guys, I always do it through there, because for me it's just always much easier and also safer to organize these types of interactive videos through there. I think the most anticipated question that I got was, how and why did you come up with the name Katodeling? Now this is some deep Katodeling lore. Okay, if you go to my channel, you go to the information about me section, you can see that the date that my channel was created is the 15th of June 2013. This channel is literally 10 years old. The reason for that is that back in the day, I wanted to be a vlogger slash fashion related channel because this is something that I've always wanted to do. And so I was thinking of a name that I would want my videos to be under. If I want to make fashion related videos, I want to maybe try to combine my name with some sort of fashion related word. And the thing is, like, on internet, I always used to go by the name Cat. So I was like, okay, cat, fashion, fashion. Okay, that doesn't sound right. Clothes, cat toes. Okay, that sounds very inappropriate. Cat modeling, Katodeling. And I was like, my light bulb moment. I was thinking, that's it. That's the one. I love it. Who would have thought that 10 years later, I am actually making videos under that name? It's just that the videos I'm making are not the type of videos I thought I will be making. And the second question, which region do you enjoy most aesthetically? I think Liyue, honestly. Liyue has the most cozy vibes to me. Are you going to do a face review? I don't know, maybe. What are your other hobbies besides playing computer games? Definitely reading books. I read a lot of books. I think my favorite genre is YA fantasy, especially with like a little bit of romance. Chef's kiss. I used to also dance for quite a few years of my life, but I stopped, I think around 3 years ago because I got so burnt out by it that I no longer felt like going to my dance classes or practicing on my own. But I do miss it, and I do think that at some point I am gonna go back to dancing. Nahida is like the mascot of your channel. Do you think you'll ever change it? I definitely assume that that possibility exists. For now, I feel like Nahida really fits my channel and my vibes, so I'm not really planning on changing that. But I do assume that since, you know, with every region we get a new set of characters, it's kind of a big possibility that I might change Nahida to someone else in the future. And the second question, if you were to play a mono element team, which element would it be? Probably Hydro, because Hydro seems like the most OP element in the game. Yeah, probably Hydro. Would you ever spend money on Genshin? When I first started playing Genshin, I did used to give myself welcome moons for the first, I think, 7 months. And then after that, I stopped because I realized that the amount of money I spent already on just these welcome moons, I could have gotten myself a full-on advanced game where I wouldn't have to do any microtransactions within. So I kind of stopped doing that, and honestly I'm not planning on spending money on this game. And I've been playing for 1.5 years at this point, so for almost a year I've already been completely free to play. Favorite place to go on vacation? Well, this is gonna sound a bit sad, but I don't have one. This year I was, for example, on vacation for only 3 days. I have not had a proper vacation where I would actually leave somewhere for 2 years. I love traveling, but I hardly ever do it because it's very expensive, and also if I get to travel, I want to go to a different place each time. What music are you into, and what's your favorite song? You see, I don't know how to describe this type of music because I don't know if it's its own specific genre, but it's kind of like an electronic dark music. This is what I would say.
And I'll put some of my favorite tracks like on the screen so that you can see.
It's really hard for me to explain this type of music. You just have to hear it. Do you play any instruments? I don't.
What is one game you would play on your channel if you ever got bored/burned out of Genshin?
Well, joke's on me. I've already been burnt out from Genshin for a long time. The thing is that originally when I finally decided last year to start making videos, I wanted to make Sims content. So probably I would make Sims 4 videos if I didn't make Genshin. And that's kind of why on my Twitch channel, I made myself a goal that I want to kind of separate my Twitch from YouTube, and I want to be more of a variety streamer on Twitch because that way it's much easier to not get burned out from one game. And the thing is that with Genshin, even though I'm burnt out from the game, it doesn't affect my content because I'm not burnt out from making content. Even though the game itself, it's not bringing me joy anymore, but making videos does.
What made you want to start a Genshin content career? As I said, I had a choice between going for Genshin and Sims 4 because these are the two games that I play the most.
And the reason why I decided to go for Genshin rather than Sims 4 is because I realized that the Sims 4 is first of all kind of an old game at this point, and there are so many content creators that cover this game, so it's almost impossible for new content creators to make their way up. And with Genshin, even though there is a ton of content creators, the demand for videos like this is actually still so big that you can still make a career on Genshin. You can still start a channel basically today and you will still get views if obviously you know how to do it. Basically, there's more space on Genshin market than on the Sims 4 market. So that was the deciding factor for me.
What Genshin character do you think you most relate to?
I don't think I relate to any of them, to be honest with you.
Other than Genshin videos, do you plan to create any other type of content, different game, etc.?
Ideally, would love to grow my channel enough to be able to hire editors, and then I could start making different types of channels. Because as I mentioned originally, I wanted to make completely different type of content. And for example, I would love to do maybe like a book related channel, like a book commentary type of videos, vlogs as I said, maybe a different game. But for me, the biggest opponent right now is time. Weirdest people you ran into co-op or best experience. I haven't played in co-op mode with strangers for like a really long time, and I've never had a weird experience. And my best experiences would probably honestly be with my friends.
What made you get into Genshin Impact?
I already said this story in one of my videos. It was the things I wish I knew about Genshin when I first started playing. But basically, I moved away for university across the country and I really missed one of my friends. So we were trying to find some ways that we can hang out together, and we thought that maybe we should play some co-op game online. And so I go to Google, I type in 10 best games to play with your friends online, and for some reason I realized that Genshin was on every single one of these lists, and the game looked really interesting to me, so I decided to try it out. And I realized, well, it's not a co-op game at all, but I enjoyed it enough that I decided to just keep playing, so that's the story.
If you could go in a world of Teyvat and become any character, who will it be?
Basically, I don't want to be any of them. I feel like it's one of those moments where you think that, oh, I would love to live in a fantasy world, but then when you realize that in a lot of these fantasy worlds, the characters go through so much crap in life that you're like, you know what, maybe I'm just happy with my normal mundane life. So none of them, genuinely none of them.
What is the best compliment you've ever received?
It's actually a compliment that I got pretty recently. It was a compliment that Rex, one of my mods, gave me. He said that you're one of the strongest people I've ever met. I cried after that compliment because I feel like I grew up being told that you know, the weakest, the worst, the biggest disappointment. And even though I really do everything in my power to be a better person and fix my mistakes and just improve, to have someone actually notice it. Oh my god, I'm crying. To have someone notice it and tell me that no, you are strong and I can see that you're trying hard. It meant a lot. It really meant a lot, and probably that was the best compliment I ever got.
Are you a fan of any sports? I think you mean if I'm a fan of watching any sports,
And the answer to that is no, I don't watch any sports.
is there any team / character you despise using? There is no specific character that I despise using, but I hate Claymore users.
This is why I do not have a single Claymore character build,
Because I just don't enjoy how slow and chunky they are. I just really like much quicker characters, and Claymores are just not for me. If you had to describe yourself as a Genshin character, looks, personality, humor, etc., who would it be?
look-wise, probably, I don't know, like the only character that comes to my mind is Sara. But I mean, I guess it's up to you to judge which character I look the most like. Personality, this is gonna sound weird. I feel like I'm like between Lisa and Nahida in terms of personality, which is so weird, but that's me. Humor, I don't think any character has a similar humor to me, to be honest with you.
How does Genshin burnout affect you? Okay, I can finally talk about this a bit more. It affects me in a way that I only log in to make content. I don't log in because I genuinely want to do it. And you could, for example, very easily see that when Fontaine was coming out, everyone was asking me, and is still asking, which Fontaine character you want to pull for? Which Fontaine character you like? What are you most excited about in Fontaine? And I was just like, And it's not because I didn't want anything new in the game. I do appreciate the fact that we have something new to do in the game, but I don't really feel that excitement anymore. Can I see more pictures of your cats? You know what? Blaze, this is for you. You're welcome. Would you do more collabs like in your speedrunning of bosses? Yes, I would love to do that, and if I have more opportunities to do it, I definitely will. I enjoyed making that collab so much, and it's one of my favorite videos on my channel. So out of your 3 moderators, who do you love the most? Matt, M, or Rice? Rex, would you be interested in a stream collab? Rice is gonna kill me, no. Jokes aside, I love all my staff, and I think I want to take a second to just thank you guys. Thanks to you guys, I feel like I'm able to have this wonderful community. You do so much. You help me out basically every single day, and you do that out of your own free will. You spend your free time in helping me out, and I feel like I don't express my gratitude enough. I am really grateful for every single one of you. I love all of you guys. Would you be interested in a stream collab with a Genshin streamer or a friend? Yeah, definitely. I would love to do a video collab and a stream collab. How did you meet your cat? Okay, the story behind it is that I actually found her mom when she was a little kitten on the street. Literally, I was just biking around. How old was I? 11 or 12, I think. I think I was 12. I was just on my bike, and then I hear this squeaky noise, and I'm like, what is this noise? I literally was riding on a road where there was nothing and no one inside. So I stopped my bike, and I see a kitten just coming out of a bush. Probably she lost her mom somewhere and was just abandoned on her own looking for rescuing. And it just looked so hungry and dirty, and I felt so bad. So I immediately took her on my shoulder, and I remember I was biking, one hand on the bike, the other one I literally held the kitten on my shoulder, and I was just biking home with the cat on my shoulder. Told my mom about what happened, and we immediately took her in. And a year later, I asked my mom if we can have little kittens, and she agreed. So that's how actually my cat that I have right now was born. So basically, you could say that I had her since
before she was even born.
Which step do you enjoy most during production of your content? Which one the least? I have the same answer for both of these, and that is editing. Editing, in my opinion, is basically the heart and soul of the video. This is what makes you genuinely enjoy it. This is what adds the actual humor. It's the visual humor, it's the sound effects, it's the entire mood of the video that is added thanks to the music, and as I said, the cutting of the video. When I'm editing a video, I also pay attention to the pacing of the video. Pacing is a really important thing to me, and the reason why I like it the least is because it's the most time consuming. Because of that, I don't have time to make other types of content even though I really want to. Is there a world from a book, movie, game where you'd like to live in? Similar to the question of which character would I like to live the life of from Genshin, I really don't want to live anyone else's life. I don't want to live in a different world. I feel like these fantasy worlds, they seem really beautiful at a glance, but if you really think about it, most of the time they're really brutal. There is a ton of prejudice and other major issues. Most of the time, fictional stories are based on a really big conflict, for example, a war, and it's really not something I'm interested in. What is your credit card info? Oh, okay. I see that Kimmy is speedrunning his way to get his role taken away. I mean, how do you manage college and YouTube? Like, what do you prioritize most? Okay, for context, I used to do YouTube and be a full-time student on my master's degree for almost this entire year. I graduated in July, so I am no longer a student, but the way I was able to manage YouTube and full-time studying was the fact that I had like a pretty strict schedule for myself. Basically, I would be busy with uni usually from Monday to Wednesday. On Thursday, I would film a video and edit most of it. Then on Friday, I would have online classes till 12. And then after 12, I would finish editing the video, make thumbnail, upload it so that you guys see it on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I would just take a day off. For me, the most important thing was to just stick to that schedule, but also to remember to always schedule free time. The amount of times that I would tell someone who's trying to manage a couple things at once, hey, you should try creating a schedule. And then they show me their schedule and I realized that like it's just work, sleep, work, sleep. Where's time for freedom, for hobbies, for just honestly like sitting and doing nothing? People don't realize how important rest is, and it's crucial. It's crucial. If you want to achieve anything, you need to give yourself enough rest. Of course, that doesn't mean that you only should rest, but being able to balance rest with work is, I think, essential. Do you have any plans on making merch? If so, what is it? To be honest with you, I don't really plan on doing that. I don't even know if you would be interested in it. I really don't see myself having it. I don't even know what it would be. I don't know. I never been a merch type of person. I never bought any merch myself either, so I truly don't see how anyone would be interested in it. If you weren't a Genshin YouTuber, what other job would you have? Well, as you already know, I studied economics as my master's degree, and originally I went there because I wanted to have a job as a social media marketing specialist. So that's probably what I would be doing. Which, I mean, it is kind of similar to what I do right now. I also, like, one of the many jobs that you have as a content creator online is being your own social media marketing specialist. So I guess in one way I do kind of do it. Would you ever adopt more cats? Oh yes, definitely. For me, having just this one cat is not enough. I kid you not, I grew up having 6 cats. I would love to adopt more cats. However, I can't do it because I live with my grandparents, and my grandparents despise cats like so much to the point that I don't think they're gonna allow me to have any more, unfortunately, but I would love to have more. What is your Genshin hot take? It's not even a hot take. I feel like if if you actually sit down to talk about it, a lot of people agree with you. And that is that Raiden is a really poorly written character that had zero character development. The problem is that I loved Raiden before we actually got to know her a bit more. I liked that she was an antagonist. We finally met an Archon that was, you know, not the good guy. I liked that. The concept for Raiden was amazing. The fact that we went from fighting her to stop her from destroying her own country from the inside to just having Dunko with her and hearing about her trauma as if that somehow excused anything she's done. Like, I was not having it. I feel like Raiden is just such a wasted opportunity in my opinion. I wish she stayed as an antagonist, to be honest with you. If you could time travel, would you go to the past or the future? Or would you not use that power at all? I think to give you a context to my answer, I first have to tell you that I have this life philosophy that I want to live my life without any regrets. So whenever I think of the past, well, first of all, I try to not think of the past, but if I do, I never think of it in a way that, oh, I wish I did this part different. I wish I made a different decision. I wish I said something else. I never do that to myself. If there are any mistakes that I've done, whenever I make mistakes, I try to simply accept them, that this is a part of me, and I simply try to move on. I try to take that as a learning experience, not as something that drags me down. So if I were to have an opportunity to travel to the past, nope, I would not do it at all. I don't want to do that. Past is past for a reason, and I believe that I wouldn't be the type of person that I am right now if I didn't go through everything that I have in the past. The future, however, this is something that I have high hopes for. But to be honest with you, I don't want to just like jump to the future, even though I highly believe that my future is gonna be much better than what it is right now. But I kind of want to experience the journey of going to that place in my life. For example, one of my dreams to have in the future is my own house. But I want to experience actually building my house. I want to experience going to an architect to design the house, to choose, I don't know, like furniture and paint the house. I want this experience so much. So even though my dream and goal is to have a house, I still want to go through the whole process of making that dream come true. I think this is part of the fun in life. So I probably would not use that power at all. What is your all-time favorite dessert or food in general? My all-time favorite dessert is ice cream, and also pizza probably are my two favorite foods. What's your favorite team to use? Probably the one that I use the most often, which is Yaimiko, Nahida, Kazuha, and Kokomi. And the next question, of course, who are you gonna pull for after Zhongli banner? I feel like no matter what, people gonna be asking me that every single banner. Are you gonna pull for this character? Are you gonna pull for that? No matter how many times I answer that, the question still remains. And I think that I'm gonna start having like a policy where I just don't answer that question. Like who I pull, I will pull for. You're gonna see as a surprise, I guess. I definitely want to make more pulling videos for you guys where I pull on your account. So that definitely is coming. But when it comes to my own account, I really don't feel like I miss any characters. The only character that I really want to have is Zhongli, as I've already mentioned. And I feel like after I have him, I can basically create almost any team that I want. Do you play any other games on your free time? If so, what games? Well, I mentioned this already that I play Sims 4 sometimes, but to be honest with you, nowadays, whenever I have free time, I try to spend as little time as possible in front of my computer screen because my eyes are just not having it. So I'm trying to find more hobbies off screen, basically. Who made you start playing video games in general or specifically Genshin Impact? So specifically Genshin, I already answered, but when I was 9 or 10, I used to have a friend that came from like a really rich family, and every single day I would come to her house after school and I would just sit next to her in front of her desk and I would watch her play The Sims 2. And I was so fascinated by this game that I was begging my parents to get me one. And finally, in 2006, they got me my very first Sims 2 game, and that was the moment where I started playing games, and I ended up falling in love with them. Do you plan on making any content about other games besides Genshin? I assume that in a couple of years I'm not gonna be doing Genshin videos anymore. This game, it's not really meant to be played long term like this. It's a game focused mainly on new players. So the second that new players will stop coming in the game, I probably will have to stop making content on it because no one's gonna watch it. And I do want to expand to different types of games. For example, I very patiently waiting for Wuthering Waves. I have high hopes for this game, and I really hope this is gonna be potentially a second game I'm gonna introduce on my channel. What made you start YouTube? Ever since I discovered YouTube, that has always been my dream job. The very first person that I actually watched and I saw that they're making a career out of YouTube was Ryan Higa. I don't know if you guys even know who Ryan is. I don't think he posted a single video for many years on YouTube, but he was one of the OG people that really made me look at YouTube as something that can be fun, creative, and something you're passionate about. He truly was the inspiration for me. He made me go into YouTube deeper and realize there are so many different types of content, and I want to earn from that. I really want that to become my full-time job. What, if anything, about Genshin lore do you find interesting? I'm not that deep into lore, to be honest with you, or actually I'm not deep into lore at all. Most of the time I have no idea what is happening. What are you hoping to achieve on Twitch in, say, 1 year? I started Twitch because I wanted to be my basically second job and a second platform that I'm growing. The reason why I even wanted to start streaming in the first place because I felt like having only one source of income can be basically like shooting myself in the leg, because, you know, what if YouTube falls one day? What if I get cancelled on YouTube or something like that? I don't know. There is a possibility that maybe you will just simply get bored of me on YouTube. And so Twitch for me is kind of like diversifying my portfolio, is creating a new source of income, and this is also the reason why I will not stream on YouTube, because as I said, I want to have multiple platforms that I grow on. And just in general, if you want to be a successful YouTuber, streamer, or any type of content creator, you need to do it across platforms. So only doing something on one platform is no longer a way to succeed, really. You can only grow to a certain point, but if you want to expand, you need to go to different platforms. And what I hope to achieve in 1 year on Twitch, I would love to get partnered. That is 100% my goal. I think somewhere between 70 and 80 viewers on average per stream, which, considering that I have an average of like 20 viewers, that's a long way to go. Out of all the world quests, which ones were the most memorable to you? Likewise, which ones most affected how you view Tevats? I don't read world quests. I know that world quests in general tend to be way more dark and deeper, but I don't feel the passion for it. Nothing really sparked my interest when it comes to world quests. What did you study in college? I have a bachelor's in criminology and master's in economy. Are you doing YouTube full-time? Yes, I have been doing YouTube full-time actually for a couple of months now. Last month, I officially created my own company. What are your opinions on the Genshin meta? I feel like some of you may already know this, but the answer is that I think that meta can be a good guide for new players, but there are people out there who will pull for characters only because they're meta, and if they're not powerful, or some people would describe characters as mid as if it was like an offensive word. I feel like that really kills the fun, and it doesn't also spread like positive message. You shouldn't feel shamed for, I don't know, liking Dia. I understand being disappointed with Dia's damage and just in general the entire kit, 100%, but if you're gonna go out there to tell people do not pull for Dia because not only she sucks, but she's also going to be on the standard banner. I feel like that's not really a good way to approach this. So again, if you use meta as a possible guide for yourself, then that's great. But if you use it as an excuse to be rude to people, then I think this is where I draw the line. What's your favorite type of environment / weather? Can be in real life or in game. I love sunny, warm weather. Summer is my favorite season. When you started Genshin, what character made you go, oh yes, I'm gonna be playing this gacha hell for a long time? Indirectly, I already hinted that it wasn't the characters that made me got hooked on the game, it was the gameplay itself. I probably would enjoy the game even if only I played with the starter characters. Obviously, I still would want to pull for some, but to me, characters are awesome and they do add that cherry on top for the game, but it's not the main reason why I play it. Do you actually enjoy playing Genshin every day? Do you like to cook at all? If so, what's your favorite dish to make? Or if you don't, what's your favorite dish to eat? I love cooking, actually. I would say that I'm a pretty good cook, if anything, and I guess my favorite dish to make would be the one that I'm the most proud of. I call myself Queen of Burgers for a reason. Is there a topic / subject you're passionate about or interested in? I think that I'm really interested in skincare. And then the second thing I already kind of mentioned is fashion. I don't mean fashion in a high fashion way. I mean fashion more in a creative way. I like seeing people feeling comfortable in what they wear. I use fashion mostly as an inspiration. And that concludes all of the questions that we have for today. So I want to again thank all of you for being here, and here's to another year with you guys.